I'm ever so nervous, so if I just completely mess it up, bear with me, I'll straighten it out. This is not my natural environment standing here on the podium, but it's a relief after months of escalating thought, of wondering what I was going to talk about and how I was going to deliver this to you. It wasn't until recently I realised the similarity between composing a talk and designing a stained glass window. So that's exactly what I let happen. I hope to design a verbal window which incorporates many of the directions, routes and paths which brought me here today. Windows are storytelling, and that's what they've always done, and hopefully if we get jobs, that's what they'll always do. I'm from Anglesey. Anglesey is a beautiful, quiet, location on the top of Wales. Not a lot goes on there, and that's a fantastic place for craft people, for writers, for musicians. It's actually wonderful. Often, when I saw the strength of colour in nature, there was almost no turning back. I had to be involved somewhere, somehow, and nothing could make me happier than some way working with incredible force of colour. Would I ever thought that I'd be working with a super-cool liquid back then, to have melted a material which I knew to be both incredible, hard and fragile, and one which seemed to be so untamed, the diversity of glass. I studied at Bangor University of Art, where I had a basic introduction to the creative world. Later, I was accepted to a Welsh, Wrexham College, where I started an HND course in architecture stained glass. Mel Harris was my tutor. He was an excellent tutor. And he studied in the Wimbledon College of Art, which incidentally was the first college in the UK to specialise in the stained glass course. Mel graduated with an honours pass. He exhibited as an artist in the Crafts Council, the Royal Academy, Shipley Gallery in Gateshead, and the Walker Gallery, Liverpool. I can't tell you if he pursued his career as an artist, but his calling was definitely with teaching, lecturing, and the subject he felt passionate about. Mel Harris instigated the HND course in Wrexham. It was a strictly architectural course. Wrexham was considered to be one of the best courses in the country with an international reputation. This window you can see now, the Prodigal Son, was my medieval study. Here you have the drawing over there. I don't know what to point, but that one. And this is the pencil drawing. Next slide is the lead lines, and that is the actual window of the pony itself, the Prodigal Son. It's a terrible shame, but the course I was lucky enough to have been on back then in 1990 has since closed. There is a glass course still running, but the language of glass work and the practice has changed. Mel was interested in the action of light and colour, the subtle balances between colours and the application of paint. He reinforced us to look, to experiment and to dream. He instilled the magic which many of us took away from that college. That was his skill and where his heart lay. It was all about making beautiful stained glass with paint and colour and the traditional methods executed properly. It was painting with light. Now, what I've got here is the course details. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go through this quite quickly, but briefly, that's what's there now in Wrexham College. The fees and the fine arts revised, the fees. I mean, there's something going on that the Welsh students can possibly have a reduction in fees. They don't have to pay £6,000 or £9,000. But still, it's still a lot of money for students, and you don't have a lot. There's a little snippet here which I wanted to put in. That most courses have to adapt. Where's that going? Most courses have had to adapt due to the changes in demand. The style of art required to captivate the modern world and modern architecture has limited time now for the traditional processes. Financially, glass art has to swing with the ever changes of budgets, which is an awful shame. Universities are academic. There's no room for practical in the academic world. This slide is a Wrexham line. I'm not going to say we'll go for a beer right now. I would like to, trust me. But in the background you can see a little red building, and that's where the college was. Overlooking Wrexham was Wrexham Lager, which was fabulous. Now, the timeline in this is 1890, which is when Wrexham Lager exported lager to Khartoum. Trade dwindled after the war, and they ceased trading in the year 2000 and were demolished. They were in business for 120 years. I've got some images of Wrexham Lager. 1822, however, I'll tell you now in case I don't get there, is when Goddard and Gibbs, just remember that, in 1868 were born. But I'll come to that later. Okay, Wrexham Lager supported the local football team. These are people who used to work there, the brewers. Wrexham Lager had a stained glass window commissioned, and I thought, ironically, I'll put that in because of the art college lived next door. You know, we all wanted the same hood. Wrexham Lager, the fans always cheered, Wrexham Lager, Wrexham Lager, Wrexham Lager, feed me till I want no more. And that's exactly how I feel about stained glass. I love it, it's brilliant. I was so blown away, and I wasn't blown away until I won this competition. I didn't actually know what was going on with my life until I realised change was happening. When I was in Wrexham, two things happened to me. I won the Stevens competition, and this is the Architectural Glass Competition 1991, a window to commemorate the life of Laurence Olivier. The second thing I won was a college project, an east-facing window of a local parish church in Western Lionfields. This year's main booth, and it's quite important for architectural glass, is the Stevens competition. Stevens competition now is, here we go, the budget, hang on, let me go back, sorry. Is a brilliant competition. I've lost my slide, sorry, it's all going mad. Okay. Since 2009, the Stevens competition has been part of the World Skills portfolio. I've heard that particularly that the glass competition has exceedingly high standards and is well thought of. Architectural glass has changed. Once it was thought that coloured glass that was hand-painted, stained and kiln-fired. Light was considered to be illumination of God. Windows were not only glass, but the spirits held within them an integral light. Architects now tell us what to do, which is a terrible shame. The next slide is of Western Lionfields. This was the second competition, which luckily I came first with. I don't actually know how, but it blew me away. During the final year of my course, our brief was to design an east-facing window for the parish church of Western Lionfields. All the students designed for this brief, which was mine was selected. Mrs. Bell, who instigated the window, fancied my window from the start. I actually didn't know at the time, I was told later. Unfortunately, she didn't get to see the window installed. The window was made with double-plated flashed Hartley Woods glass. Hartley Woods Glass is the only English glassmaker in the country then, and it's another company which has gone out of business. The little panel in the corner, the furthest one, the other side of the round window, is made with Hartley Woods glass, which I've been hanging on to for the last 20 years. I thought today was a good day to make a little panel and bring it in to show you. Flash glass is a white bubble, then dunked into colour, hence the colour is on one side only. So we can acid it away, making it thinner and lighter in tone. It's very useful for drapes of cloth and anything that requires highlights. Acid etch drawn to clear, plated over another colour, releases the third colour, often intense in colour. After Wrexham, I went to Sunderland University, where there's a 2D, 3D architectural glass course there. The course today has got cutting-edge equipment. Whilst I was in Sunderland, this was my degree show panel. This is the whole panel, which I used kiln-formed glass, painted glass, cast 3D glass. I didn't use blown glass because I'm afraid I joined in the second year and I didn't really get a chance to, reap the benefit of being in such a fabulous department. Fairground attention to detail. Sunderland College today is amazing. If anybody's interested in glass, please follow their website and go and have a look at the course. They've got facilities second to none, and they're the largest complex in Europe. There's the glass blowing studio. It's absolutely amazing.